Hello and welcome to yet another analog live stream. My name is Sigma, and if I sound a little bit out of breath, it's because I've been running myself ragged trying to get everything ready to go on time. But, hey, look on the bright side. That's exactly what we did. Soundboard and all. So, as you probably heard from the laugh, tonight I have with me Gale Force 3192 and literally nobody else.
Yep, I'm the only other one here.
We're so lonely. Come join us. Not on the call, obviously, because on the off chance anybody ever comes back to this after we hit it big. Ha! But then it's... yeah, maybe we won't make the live stream open mic. Yeah, that could get really stupid really quick.
Strange. Anyway. Looking at who else is online, according to at least according to Discord, it says Ifrit's also online, yet he's not in the call.
Yeah, we got Ifrit, Parzi, and Cake all showing as online, but I'm guessing they're probably all busy with something else.
Yeah, it's possible.
It's just kind of how they do.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, Parzi and Cake are most definitely busy with something else, knowing them.
Well, I mean, Cake's got a day job, and sure, this is his day off, but this is like his only day off.
Yeah.
Dude works hard. Dude works way harder than he has any... Dude works way too hard and doesn't get paid nearly enough.
Given his job, yes.
Like, he's making the minimum wage for his area, which, to be fair, he lives in Washington State, so that's a pretty good minimum wage, but we're talking about a guy who's working full-time hours and only receiving part-time benefits because technically most of it's overtime. Ooh.
Yeah.
I swear that's not legal, but they're doing it anyway. Well, enough bemoaning our existence. That should come after we start reading. So, yes, last time we had, Sparkling and Foreplay.
That sounds so wrong out of context.
The soundboard isn't helping, trust me.
Next.
So many dicks, so little time. There's a sentence.
Yeah, I was about to say, that's a sentence you just said.
Yes, it is. I have those. I have a lot of those. And if you're wondering why I'm spending so much time vamping, it's because in my frenzied rush to get everything ready to go on time, I forgot to open the PDF. Shut up.
Yeah, it's like, and I actually already have the PDF open and loaded to the chapter we'll be reading.
You know, considering you have the PDF as well, I really should be demanding that we take turns reading this shit. But we all know how 50 Shades went.
Hey, that was back when I was able to drink, okay?
That's exactly what I mean. Okay, I've gotten it where I need it. No, not full screen mode. Thank you, but no thank you. Read mode, there we are. And I keep forgetting there's a hotkey for that I should be using.
Yeah, to think that I have reasons to think that I have my reasons to stay sober.
I just took a very quick look at what we're getting into in this coming chapter, and I already hate it. Okay, well, that's a good sign,
I didn't even skim over the chapter. I just looked at how many pages we got, and
I'm very quickly learning that skimming over the first bits of chapter beforehand is probably a bad idea, but at the same time, it's very hard. It's very hard not to, at least with the PDF I'm using. Because, I mean, you scroll down to where the chapter begins, and there's the first couple of paragraphs right there. Boop.
Yeah, see, the only bit I saw is, like, a little bit of dialogue is, you like 50s music? and Edward's response is, like, much better than the 60s or 70s. Ugh. The 80s were bearable. And I remember watching a video by, Huh?
We're gonna get to that.
Yeah, because I remember a video by I think it was T-Prince's, and
oh god,
and I remember
name I haven't heard in forever.
I remember T-Prince's going into a long ass rant about that.
Yeah, that sounds like something that would be a berserk button for Rufy.
Yeah.
Rufy Hansen, there's a name I have not heard in a million years. Have I mentioned I'm a YouTube grandpa? I had epic mealtime today.
Yeah, I was about to say it's like I've watched her videos for a long ass time too, but then I've had my channel since 2010, and you've had your channel for an even longer time than that.
2006.
Yeah.
This website was a year old when I first showed up. Just a friend of mine from Newgrounds tells me, yes, Newgrounds, tells me about this new babby website called YouTube that's kind of the same thing but with a lot less porn. And I'm just like, okay, cool. I don't really want my parents seeing porn whenever I'm watching funny videos, so this is a helpful thing. Fast forward 11 years. Oh god. Where did I go wrong? Okay, admittedly the answer to that is multiple places. Do you want the list? But details. Anyway, just gonna go ahead and compound, just go ahead and make the latest wrong decision in my very long list of wrong decisions that I've made, and dig into Chapter 14, Mind Over Matter.
Psychic types!
Mind bullets! It's telekinesis, Kyle. With apologies to both South Park and Spoonie.
Yes.
And Samurai Zombie Nation, I guess. You know what? I'm not going to apologize to the whole game, but I will apologize to Naked Zombie Sean Connery. Losers always complain about their best.
We'll just go home and fuck the prom queen.
Suck it, Trebek! Oh, we do love you, Sir Connery. We do love you. Anyway. He could drive well when he kept the speed reasonable, I had to admit. So, like, never. Like so many things, it seemed to be effortless to him. He's a soup. He barely looked at the road, yet the tires never deviated so much as a centimeter from the center of the lane. Okay, that's honestly kind of impressive considering how horrible the steering on old trucks was. Like, there was like 90 degrees of play in either direction on the steering wheel. Like, you've seen like those scenes in kind of older movies where, they're in front of like, well, not a green screen obviously because this would be before anything like that, but like some sort of kind of scrolling background type of thingy, whatever they used to simulate that.
Of course.
Yeah, chroma key, that sort of thing. Or analog, kind of whatever. And you just see them, they'd be sawing at the wheel pretty much. Yeah, that was true to life for like the first 30, 40 years that cars were a thing.
Yeah, whether they use green screen or what was the technique they used before that? Rear projection? I think.
Sure. Let's go with that.
Yeah, I don't know what it's called, but you know what I'm talking about.
It was like rear projection, then chroma key, then green screen.
Yeah.
Although green screen is technically just a different version of chroma key.
Yeah, exactly.
Just, same thing, just digital. I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't do I'm not a movie guy. I'm certainly not a special effects guy. I mean, Shit, have you seen this stream?
And it's like, you know something? Because it's gonna be buggy. Because it's gonna keep bugging me, I'm gonna look it up. Like, what the one before the chroma key / green screen was.
Well, we're every bit as good as staying on topic as always.
Yeah, it is rear projection.
Okay, neat. Well, that's, we've learned something today. I guess.
What can I say? I'm a film nut.
Well, that might just be the hardest nut. No, wait, no, those are retired nuts. That's a very obscure They Might Be Giants reference that nobody's gonna get. Even though it's a pretty fun little song. Which, I mean, for those who don't know, I'm referencing a song entitled We Live in a Dump. And if the title alone doesn't already tell you it's going to be amusing, well... I mean, good for you for not being one to jump to conclusions, but it's pretty amusing. Anyway, on to something infinitely less amusing. He drove one-handed, holding my hand on the seat. Okay, well, I was gonna complain about how that should probably also not be possible given... Well, no, power steering was a thing by that point. Actually, never mind, so... Freakish vampire strength or no freakish vampire strength, he would have been able to do that. Although, still raising questions about just how... about the vagueness of handling for cars in the early 50s, because... Oh god. Nothing happened for the first 90 degrees of wheel travel. And then maybe you'd start slowly going in one direction or another. You ever wonder how baby boomers survived? I would have thought they'd all have died out in a car crash by this point. Well, I suppose we can't be so lucky. Sometimes he gazed into the setting sun. My eyes! Sometimes he glanced at me, my face, my hair blowing out the open window, our hands twined together. Oh god, it's like a Taylor Swift? Excuse me, a Taylor Swift music video. Taylor Swift, what the Oh, it's good to know that,
Great, now you're going into the Waker May territory.
I was
drinking!
So am I! Granted, I'm drinking vanilla Coke and Sunkissed, but I'm drinking.
And I was drinking hard cider. What's your excuse?
Okay, I don't have one. I'm just bad at everything. Oh, but I am the worst at English. Thank you, Mordred. He had turned the radio. He turned the radio to an oldie station. He turned it. So he pulled it out of the console, spun it around, and put it back in. To get to the oldie station. Is that what you meant? Are you sure you don't mean tuned the radio? Because that's how radios work. You tune them. I'm not even sure if that's a matter of typos or just Stephanie Meyer having horrible diction. Possibly both. And he sang along with a song I'd never heard. He knew every line. I'm trying to think of a 50s song I could put in here, but, like... No. I'm not that sadistic. Yeah, just real talk for a second. I cannot stand the music of the 1950s.
I like some songs from the 50s, but I like to say Stand By Me for that.
Okay, I will make one correction to that. Anything by Chuck Berry. Anything by Chuck Berry.
2 silver bells on a string, They said it was my ding-a-ling-a-ling.
Okay, maybe not everything by Chuck Berry.
Ha
I like Johnny Be Good though. That was
Yes.
That was the song of the 50s for me.
Yeah,
However,
Johnny Be Good, Maybelline.
yes, Maybelline.
Down the Road a Piece.
Yes, yes. So yeah, Chuck Berry was basically the only person who made good music in the 1950s. Usually. Even he fucked up. Ding-a-ling-a-ling, really?
See, I can't help but get a kick out of that song just because I find it funny.
I mean, the whole song is one big dick joke. It's not a good song, it's just hilarious. But, I mean, like...
Yeah, I can't deny that.
And, I mean, we've got songs now that are good and hilarious. Hi, Al.
Yes.
Anyway. You like 50s music? I asked. Well, actually, you know what? Before I go on, I do want to make one last point regarding Chuck Berry, and that's that... I'm sorry, but if it was anything by Chuck Berry, and it was on the radio, you'd recognize it. So, basically, either Bella's an idiot, or Edward has terrible taste in music. Although my personal opinion on this, probably both. Especially
it makes me question what station they've got it on, because
I mean, hard to say for sure. They tend to vary regionally.
Good point.
Well, I know it's not a good college radio station, though. Those are basically dead now. But you know something? That's a ramble for another time. So, you like 50s music? I asked. Music in the 50s was good. Music in the 50s was Elvis having an epileptic fit on stage. Just saying. Much better than the 60s or the 70s. Ugh. He shuddered. The 80s were bearable. Go fuck yourself.
Yes. See, this is where I referred to like the T Princess video.
Alright, so we're basically going to be writing off then the likes of the Beatles. I could kind of get behind writing off. I always thought the Beatles were kind of overrated, especially their early stuff. Like some of their later, more experimental work.
Yeah, the Beatles' later stuff is better than their early stuff, in my opinion.
The one good thing drugs has ever done for anybody.
Oh damn.
But, like, we're writing off the Beatles, Jimi Hendrix, the Rolling Stones, which, you know, one of those bands. I'm not
that into the Rolling Stones, but I could see why people were and I guess just still are big fans of them.
I'm lukewarm on the Rolling Stones, but a lot of music that came after them owed a lot to them.
Yeah, and let's not forget groups like Led Zeppelin, Black Sabbath,
The Who, Guns N' Roses,
yes.
Queen,
and, yes!
Rush. Arguably more 80s Rush, but they got their start in the late 70s, same as Queen.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sorry, but anybody who throws Queen under the bus like that is automatically a shithead.
And of course, I'm going to be mentioning off more like the harder groups, so I'm obviously biased. But
hey, come on.
I would, I tend to lead towards groups that got their start in the 80s, anyways.
I like stuff out of the 80s.
Yeah.
No.
Because I still like the softer groups too. Groups like Journey, Foreigner.
I'm kind of lukewarm on Foreigner. Journey has their moments, but oh god, if I hear Don't Stop Believing one more goddamn time. Wait, people! Says the white guy. See, that's why that's why I always get really mad about people who are complaining about, well, why does everybody get to make fun of white people who can't make fun of like black people and shit? Well, one, because black people have a history, centuries long, of being made fun of for things very far outside of their control, and mostly as a means of kind of keeping them, down societally. Whereas white people whereas white people do all kinds of stupid ass shit and frankly deserve to be called out for it. Have you seen Jimmy Buffett? I have! Repeatedly! I live less than a mile from the one place he visits more than any place else in the entire country when he's on tour. I don't know what it is that there's so many goddamn parrot heads in Cincinnati, but for whatever reason, people love him here. White people love him here. Drunk white people love him here. I can hear the fucking music from my house. And people wonder why I've got a screw loose. Okay, that was a rant. That was a rant and a half. I thought I was done doing those. Apparently not. Right. Are you ever going to tell me how old you are? I asked, tentative, not wanting to upset his buoyant humor. Buoyant? I feel like I should be inserting a shipping joke here, but I just... no. So much no. Oh god, all of my no. Does it matter much? His smile, to my relief, remained unclouded. No, but I still wonder, I grimaced. There's nothing like an unsolved mystery to keep you up at night.
Oh god, the joke's in the chat. I just noticed.
Oh, is Slayer here? You gotta
Hey,
love...
JK Tim, oh my god!
Oh no! Why is he talking about my butt?
S.
I don't get paid enough to deal with any of you. And yet, here we are. Oh my god, David. God damn it, David. Oh yeah, good old god damn it, David. That moment when you realize your version of Nappa is a chubby, beardy guy from Illinois who likes to send people toilets in the mail.
I'm manga common!
Manga common? What? Oh, wow. Damn, stream is hopping tonight. This is great.
Yeah, I got manga common in here. You're welcome.
Woo! I am doing my happy dance.
So I guess you inadvertently managed to get JK Tim in here. I managed to get manga common in here.
I mean, semi-inadvertently, I do, I do advertise this stuff on Facebook, and I am in contact with him on Facebook, as the pop-up notifications are reminding me rather frequently all of a sudden. I'm sincerely worried about what I'm going to find next time I open up Facebook. Anyway, Twilight.
Yes. Yeah, so for the new folks in here, you really haven't missed that much of the chapter we're in.
Yeah, well, I mean, even if you had, would you care?
Yeah, good point.
Let's see. Ah, right. I wonder if it'll upset you, he reflected to himself. He gazed into the sun. The minutes passed. Awkward silence. Also, really?
Okay.
Really?
Okay. I'm sorry. The minutes passed. Would you really want to stare into the sun for several minutes?
My eyes!
Yeah, exactly. That's really gonna fuck up your eyesight.
Also, will it upset you? I love how he's wondering if him being old will upset her, when she already realizes he's undead.
Yeah, it's like, I'm pretty sure even if you're a vampire staring into this, like, a Meyer pyre, like a marble vampire, I really wish Zach was here.
I know.
A marble pyre staring into the sun, that's gonna fuck up your eyesight.
Damn sparklers.
I really wish Zach was here.
Yeah. Well, then again, we have established they are tangentially related to the meerkat. So, try me, I finally said. He sighed and then looked into my eyes, seeming to forget the road completely for a time. Oh, hi, Paul Walker. Again. Anybody else getting sick of that? I am. Whatever he saw there must have encouraged him. Whatever he saw there must have been something akin to unfathomable stupidity. He looked into the sun. The light of the setting orb glittered off his skin in ruby-tinged sparkles, and spoke. Ruby-tinged, huh? Looks more purple to me. Damn it. There we go. Thank you, soundboard. I knew that zero key was going to start sticking eventually. I was born in Chicago in 1901. He paused and glanced at me from the corner of his eyes. My face was carefully unsurprised, patient for the rest, excuse me. That wasn't the PDF's fault, that was entirely on me failing to read. Yay.
It happens.
So, Cubs fan. The only surviving Cubs fan.
I could make a White Sox joke or maybe even a Black Sox joke, but then it would be a bit early.
It's a baseball joke. Sports balls!
Sports balls.
Yeah, sports balls. He smiled a tiny smile and continued. Carlisle found me in a hospital in the summer of 1918. I was 17 and dying of the Spanish influenza. In Chicago. I mean, granted, yes, that's kind of how epidemics work, is they don't usually stay isolated to Spain. There's a sentence. But, like, yeah, I don't know. Just, Like, how much more do we have to make this... How much harder is Stephanie Meyer going to try to make this guy sound like just a sick puppy? Like, seriously. Do you want him to be an edgelord, or do you want him to be the Wooby? Make up your damn mind. He heard my intake of breath, although it was very... He heard my intake of breath, though it was barely audible to my own ears. He looked down into my eyes again. I don't remember it well. It was a very long time ago, and human memories fade. How long have you had Alzheimer's? A while.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's like you may be old, but you still have the form of a 17-year-old.
Well, also my 90-year-old grandfather can still very much remember his time in the war. And fortunately, he didn't spend any time on the front lines, so none of that involves PTSD. Woo! My other grandfather wasn't so lucky. Tank unit. 2 Purple Hearts. One for throwing sea rations to refugees. My grandfather was such a good guy. War scarred him, though. As war does. I think people would learn by now that we should probably go into them a bit sparingly. Anyway, Twilight. He was lost in his thoughts for a short time before he went on. I do remember how it felt when Carlyle saved me. It's not an easy thing, not something you could forget. Your parents? They had already died from the disease. I was alone. Oh, hold on. I need to just bear with me for a second here, guys. I just need to I need to grab something real quick. I think we're gonna need it. Let's see here. And hopefully Viacom won't. Hopefully we won't get a C&D from Viacom for this, but, well, you never know. DMCA doesn't mean too much these days. Here we go. This better not be the dubstep version. Where was I? Here we are. They had already died from the disease. I was alone. That was why he chose me. In all the chaos of the epidemic, no one would ever realize I was gone. Oh, the poor baby. I almost wish this was the dubstep version. Anyway, enough of that. How did he save you? A few seconds passed before he answered. He seemed to choose his words carefully. It was difficult. Not many of us have the restraint necessary to accomplish it. But Carlyle has always been the most humane, the most compassionate of us. I don't think you could find his equal throughout all of history. Sorry, Jesus. He paused. For me, it was merely very, very painful. Oh, 'tis but a scratch.
A scratch? You know what? I'm not even gonna finish that.
Come on, you pansy! That
Well,
was.
what's that then?
Having a little too much fun over here with the Monty Python references, as usual. And now we have some guy named Robert in here. Yay! Glad he recognized the world's smallest violin, though. That was good. Okay. So, all reference to much better fantasy material aside. And yes, I do realize I'm saying that about Monty Python and the Holy Grail of all things.
Hey, fantasy comedy is still fantasy.
True. Even if it is just a parody deconstruction of normal fantasy tropes. Anyway, I could tell from the set of his lips he would say no more on this subject. I suppressed my curiosity, though it was far from idle. There were many things I needed to think through on this particular issue, things that were only beginning to occur to me. No doubt his quick mind had already comprehended every aspect that eluded me. And now we're going to spend the entire chapter just in her internal monologue trying to figure out things that we already know.
Yep.
His soft voice interrupted my thoughts. He acted from loneliness. It's usually the reason behind the choice. I was the first in Carlyle's family, though he found Esme soon after. She fell from a cliff. They brought her straight to the hospital morgue, though. Somehow her heart was still beating. So you must be dying, then, to become... We never said the word, and I couldn't frame it now. Oh, for fuck's sake! I know it starts with a V, but it ain't Voldemort! No, that's just Carlyle. He would never do that to someone who had another choice. The respect in his voice was profound whenever he spoke of his father figure. It is easier, he says, though, he continued, if the blood is weak. He looked at the now dark road, and I could feel the subject closing again. And Emmett and Rosalie? Carlyle brought Rosalie to our family next. I didn't realize till much later that he was hoping she would be to me what Esme was to him. He was careful with his thoughts around me. Yeah, because you can totally just block out thoughts. He rolled his eyes. But she was never more than a sister. It was only 2 years later that she found Emmett. She was hunting. We were in Appalachia at the time, and found a bear about to finish him off. And I would have gotten away with it, too, if it weren't for those meddling vampires. She carried him back to Carlisle, more than 100 miles. Wait. Now, hold on. See, I was born and raised in Ohio, but I'm actually a Pennsylvania boy. At least by birth. And I happen to know that Carlisle is not just a vampire doctor who looks a little bit like Neil Patrick Harris, but is also a small town at the foot of the Appalachian Mountains in Pennsylvania. So are we talking about Carlisle the town, or Carlisle the vampire doctor, or both? Because if it's both, that's just kind of weird. Actually, it's just kind of weird either way.
Yeah.
I'm Long from Pennsylvania. So, back to Carlisle. More than 100 miles. Afraid she wouldn't be able to do it herself. I'm only beginning to guess how difficult that journey was for her. He threw a pointed glance in my direction and raised our hands, still folded together, to brush my cheek with the back of his hand. Aww, I don't care. But she made it, I encouraged, looking away from the unbearable beauty of his eyes. Yes, he murmured, take a drink. She saw something in his face that made her strong enough. And they've been together ever since. Sometimes they live separately from us as a married couple, but the younger we pretend to be, the longer we can stay in any given place. Forks seemed perfect, so we all enrolled in high school. He laughed. I suppose we'll have to go to their wedding in a few years. Again. See, this is why the whole living... This is why the whole living in human civilization is a bad idea when you're immortal.
Yeah, and also, how does enrolling in high school allow you to live in that area for a longer period of time?
Also, a very good question. I should think that, like, if everybody just thinks you are an adult, it'll take a while for them to realize, hang on, I've known this guy for 20 years and he still hasn't gotten older.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, how is this person not aged? I've known him for decades.
Of course, if you did that and you were in Beverly Hills, you could probably get away with just saying that Carlisle's a hell of a plastic surgeon on top of everything else, and everybody would probably believe you.
Exactly. Yeah, see, there's
So why isn't this in LA?
Yeah, exactly. There's your trick. There's your trick. Just live in a big city. No one will notice.
Nobody will notice.
And not only...
Hell, I don't even think they notice the sparkling. Have you seen LA?
See,
it's super weird. They probably just think you're gay.
Yeah, see, not only that, not only will nobody notice, but you can survive on criminals and homeless people and other people that nobody will miss.
Maybe not the homeless people. That's mean.
But
criminals they're also kind of mean, but like...
I'm just saying, it's other targets besides animals. I'm just mentioning pragmatic options here.
You're spitballing.
Okay, that too, but I'm just saying.
Well, I mean, that's synonymous with what you were saying, so. Anyway, my point is, like, I don't know, for these particular characters, the whole surviving off of the criminal elements probably really wouldn't be a priority. But, like, the rest of that is solid, you know? Don't mind me, I'm just mixing another drink.
Okay, for nicer vampires, maybe if you try to be more specific and say violent criminals.
I think they'd still kind of rankle at that, these guys would. Which,
yeah.
I mean, admirable, but also, I don't care. I really don't care. Anyway, Alice and Jasper? Alice and Jasper are two very rare creatures. Well, Alice certainly is. They both developed a conscience, as we refer to it, with no outside guidance. Jasper belonged to another family, a very different kind of family. He became depressed and wandered on his own. Wandered off on his own? Whatever. Alice found him. Like me, she has certain gifts above and beyond the norm for our kind. Really? I interrupted, fascinated. But you said you were the only one who could hear people's thoughts. That's true. She knows other things. She sees things. Like white rabbits with pocket watches. And smiling cats. And other obvious Alice in Wonderland references. Eh? Zero button! Jesus! I need a new keypad. Or maybe a dedicated set of buttons for the soundboard. I like my buttons. They're good buttons.
I love.
Things that might happen, things that are coming. But it's very subjective. The future isn't set in stone. Things change. His jaw set when he said that, and his eyes...
Behold the power of plot convenience!
Yeah, I get the feeling that's gonna be Chekhov's, That's gonna be Chekhov's ESP. Yeah. Yep. Don't you just love it when they make it obvious? Anyway, his jaw set when he said that, and his eyes darted to my face in a way so quickly that I wasn't sure if I only imagined it. Oh good, she's already told you something stupid about this whole thing. She saw Jasper and knew that he was... derp. What kinds of things does she see? Well, she saw Jasper and knew that he was looking for her before he knew it himself. She saw Carlisle and our family, and they came together to find us. She's most sensitive to non-humans. She always sees, for example, when another group of our kind is coming near, and any threat they may pose. But can she predict the eventual penguin apocalypse? I wonder.
What?
Hey, come on, you know they're up to no good down there.
Cute and cuddly, boys! Cute and cuddly!
Down in Antarctica, where nobody can see what they're doing. They plot. They scheme. They stand around looking adorable. It's not their fault, they can't help it.
God damn it, I'm thinking of that scene from Chicken Run. They don't plot, they don't scheme, and they're not organized!
Well, I mean, they're certainly not organized. I mean, geez, have you ever seen a penguin's desk? Horribly cluttered. What the fuck am I talking about? Are there a lot of your kind? I was surprised. How many of them could walk amongst us undetected? Undead in disguise.
God damn it.
Now I hate myself more than anything. Oh god, why did I do that?
Good job.
Transformers is having enough trouble as it is with the Bay film, so why do I have to link it to this now? No, not many. But most won't settle in any one place. Only those like us who've given up hunting you people, a sly glance in my direction, can live together with humans for any length of time. We've only found one other family like ours in a small village in Alaska. The Palins! I knew it! Oh, you betcha. Tell me that doesn't make sense, though. Unusually large family. Sarah Palin doesn't seem to get any older, or any smarter. I'm just saying.
Wow.
We've lived together for a time, but there were so many of us that we became too noticeable. Those of us who live differently tend to band together. And the others? Nomads, for the most part. We've all lived that way at times. It gets tedious like anything else. Okay, what? I'm gonna call bullshit there, because speaking as somebody who's lived his entire life in one city, holding down dead end job after dead end job, and spending most of his time unemployed. I'm sorry, but being completely unshackled by economics or a home life or anything like that is tedious to you? You're immortal! You have super speed! How is traveling at all tedious? Fuck me, I'd kill for that kind of deal. Well, minus the super speed. Too fond of cars. But, like, you get what I'm saying, right? If it's getting tedious, just move somewhere else.
Yeah.
That's kind of the beauty of nomadic lifestyles. Once the scene gets boring, you find another scene. Anyway, but I don't understand these people. They're stupid and boring, and I hate them. Moving on. But we run across the others now and then, because most of us prefer the north. Why is that? Oh, don't tell me. They're pining for the fjords. So many Monty Python references. Help. We were parked in front of my house now, and he turned off the truck. It was very quiet and dark. There was no moon. But there was a space station.
It's too big to be a space station.
The porch light was off, so I knew my father wasn't home yet. Did you have your eyes open this afternoon? He teased. Do you think I could walk down the street in the sunlight without causing traffic accidents? Oh, don't flatter yourself, honey. There's a reason why we chose the Olympic Peninsula, one of the most sunless places in the world. Edward. Can I call you Edward? I'm going to call you Edward. Walk with me for a second. Talk with me. Are you familiar with a place called the Arctic Circle? Or the Antarctic Circle, if you'd rather hang out with the penguins and their attempts to take over the world.
30 days of night. It's a thing.
Yeah. 30 days of pure darkness. And, I mean, either side of that, you're dealing with very long periods of mostly darkness, granted. Outside of that, I mean, granted, you're also dealing with 30 days where the sun never sets, but, like, so what? Nobody lives up there anyway.
Yeah, so who gives a shit?
Yeah. I mean, if you care about that much, just have a summer home in Antarctica.
Or just a summer home anywhere else.
Yeah. Although, preferably someplace where summer is actually winter. So, Southern Hemisphere. Australia's nice.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, whole bunch of shit trying to kill you, but I don't think vampires are going to have much trouble with that.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, nice thing about Australia, very rural. Not too many eyes to notice your rather unusual quirks.
Yes.
Hell, there's an entire town where literally everybody lives underground in caves. Which is pretty badass.
Huh.
Gonna move there and set up a mechanic shop and look like a Bond villain. I mean, a man can dream. Durka. Right. It's nice to be able to go outside in the day. You wouldn't believe how tired you can get of nighttime in 80-odd years.
Don't make the Dracula joke!
Make the Dracula joke. Make the Dracula joke!
Listen to them, children of the night. What sad music they make.
Probably wasn't talking about angsty vampire teenagers and that, but you know. Could have been. Totally wasn't.
God damn it!
This book ruins everything.
Yes, it does!
It's honestly kind of amazing, but also really, really infuriating. So that's where the legends came from? Probably. And Alice came from another family, like Jasper? No, and that is a mystery. Alice doesn't remember her human life at all, and she doesn't know who created her. She awoke alone. Whoever made her walked away, and none of us understand why or how he could. If she hadn't had that other sense, if she hadn't seen Jasper and Carlisle and known that she would someday become one of us, she probably would have turned into a total savage. Okay, hold on just a second. Just give me one moment here to process all of that. So what you're saying here is you had a really interesting backstory for a character. Somebody who pretty much came into being under completely unknown circumstances. And they're not the primary focus of your book? What's wrong with you? Like, that sounds like an interesting plotline to follow. But no, we're stuck with a couple of angsty teens who don't know any... They just have clearly no idea what the fuck they're doing, and are constantly getting themselves into stupid situations because neither of them have any idea how to communicate properly, and just...
Yeah, it's like, and speaking of Alice, I remember watching a video a few years back, and I remember watching a video a few years back that said that Stephanie Meyer never even bothered figuring out anything about Alice's previous life as a human. I'm not sure if that's still the case, but...
So what you're telling me is that she created an interesting backstory for a character out of laziness, and then compounded the issue by never addressing it?
So, allegedly.
Ah! I hate this. I hate everything about this. I hate everything right now. And yes, Manga Kamen, I realize the thing is in Antarctica. And I have no idea how that would interact with vampires. And I'm personally not very interested in reading that crossover fanfic. So if you find it, don't link me. I'm busy with this shit. Arg. Anyway. That was a rant and a half. I'm having a lot of those tonight. It's almost nostalgic. There was so much to think through, so much I still wanted to ask, but to my great embarrassment, my stomach growled. I'd been so intrigued I hadn't even noticed I was hungry. Oh, calm down, it's just a fart. I realize now that I was ravenous. I'm sorry, I'm keeping you from dinner. I'm fine, really. I've never spent much time around anyone who eats food. I forget. Seriously, you'd fit in LA so well.
God damn it! Now I'm tempted to make another Dracula reference.
I don't drink. Fine.
Thank you! You made it for me!
You know I can't resist low-hanging fruit. Even when it's so low, I gotta bend down to pick it.
But by the way, anyone else who's watching this, if any of you guys know the film, that had the quote that I made, know the film in which that had the quote that I made mine, 50 bonus points.
Needless to say, it is a Dracula film.
Yes, but it's one specific Dracula film
And
because the quote was quite exact.
And there's like what, 4 from Hammer alone. So
it's more than 4. Hammer. There's 4. Yeah, there's 4 from Hammer, and then there's one. There's one from Universal from the 30s, one from Universal from the 70s.
Well, I mean, good to know just how old the whole vampire obsession really is. Shame it's rather degraded from age. Anyway. I want to stay with you. It was easier to say in the darkness, knowing as I spoke how my voice would betray me, my hopeless addiction to him.
Addiction? She actually called it an addiction!
Next person who quotes the song Hopelessly Addicted to You gets a face punch. You know who you are, Slayer. Can't I come in? He asked. Would you like to? I couldn't picture it, this godlike creature sitting in my father's shabby kitchen chair. Oh my god. Also, kind of inwardly chuckling because apparently he still can't come inside somebody's residence unless he asks first. That's actually very vampire. Probably not actually a thing. It's just him being polite, but like, I don't know.
I'm sorry, I'm still hung up over the addiction thing because the fact that she called it an addiction should tell her that the fact that she's hanging out with, that the fact that she's spending so much time with him is not healthy.
Yeah, well, I mean, she can suck my addiction. Sorry, suck my addiction. Another old internet name, that one. No! I think that one. I think I was kind of deserving of that. Okay, so. Oh, I lost my place again. How do I keep doing that? Right.
I apologize.
Yes, if it's alright. I heard the door close quietly, and almost simultaneously he was outside my door opening it for me. Very human, I complimented him. It's definitely resurfacing. Oh, goody. He walked beside me in the night. So quietly I had to peek at him constantly to be sure he was still there. Oh, he's like a kitty. In the darkness he looked much more normal. Still pale, still dreamlike in his beauty, but no longer the fantastic, sparkling creature of our sunlit afternoon. Ugh!
You're like it is.
Why is the prose so purple?
Insulting my favorite color.
I'll get the Ghost Love Score. Ghost Love Score.
I know what you meant.
Because that's how we spell subtlety these days, apparently. With fucking Nightwish. He reached the door ahead of me and opened it for me. I paused halfway through the frame. The door was unlocked? No, I used the key from under the eave. Local chief of police. He used his key out in the open. Great.
You think you would have a better hiding place, like, you know, under the mat?
What is this? Is this Fort Washington or fucking Mayberry? Please stop making me reference much better pieces of fiction. It doesn't reflect well on you. I stepped inside, flicked on the porch light, and turned to look at him with my eyebrows raised. I was sure I'd never used that key in front of him. I was curious about you. You spied on me! But somehow I couldn't infuse my voice with proper outrage. I was flattered.
What?
Flattered?! You're flattered? And he's stalking you. Jesus fucking... Okay. You know what? Truth be told, all things considered, I'm actually rather surprised this book isn't favored by fedora-wearing dude bros who think they're somehow Edward Cullen. Milady. They say while taking photos of you while your back's turned. That's not romantic. That's terrifying.
I'm sorry. I'm still losing it over the fact that she found Edward Cullen stalking her to be hot.
Oh my god, he's violating my constitutional right to privacy. That makes me so moist.
Like, even Anastasia Steele from 50 Shades of Grey wasn't turned on by Christian Grey stalking her. From what I remember. Like, what the fuck?
I can't believe that in at least one aspect, 50 Shades of Grey was actually less horrible than its source material.
I know!
I mentioned I hate the universe.
What is happening to literature?
Horrible, horrible things. I assure you. Let's find out just how horrible. He was unrepentant. Because of course he was unrepentant. What a surprise. What else is there to do at night? What the fuck? Okay! Okay, backing away again. What else is there to do at... Oh my fucking... Are you saying this is a regular thing you do? What is this? What is this? What is my life?
What else is there to do at night? I don't know. Go to bars, talk to other women. They're okay. To quote Cinematic Excrement.
But wait, Wendy. He doesn't drink.
What?
He doesn't drink wine.
You can get non-alcoholic drinks at bars.
I mean, he doesn't drink those either.
Well, he can drink. He can drink water, can't he?
Apparently not.
Well, I guess that makes the joke I was about to quote fall flat then.
I hate everything about this. I shouldn't have to pause for an angry breakdown less than a sentence after my last angry breakdown.
Oh, okay, Robert M. You can party, go to a bar, play games, go to the movies. Go to the movies, thank you. Because you could go to a movie without getting refreshments.
Actually, play games.
So you could go to the movies with someone else. So I guess my joke still works.
Actually, that's
to quote Cinematic Snakehead from Cinematic Excrement. There are 3 billion vaginas, approximately 3 billion vaginas on the planet.
Closer to 4 billion.
You can find another one.
Technically closer to 4 billion. Women make up slightly over 50% of the population, and we're somewhere over 7 billion at this point, so...
I'm paraphrasing an older video.
Well, I mean... I guess it is just details. That being said, the whole games thing actually raises a very good point. Like, Vampire Daddy makes bank. You telling me you can't afford a GameCube?
Oh yeah, see, that reminds me of Breaking Dawn Part 1. It's like, motherfucker owns an island, yet he can't afford an Xbox?
Oh god, I forgot about that! But, I mean, that's kind of my point. Like, you done fucked this shit up. And don't tell me you're just not interested in video games. Because to me, that just means you haven't found the right video game.
Yeah, no kidding.
Or, like, you know what? You like driving cars way too fast. Go street race or some shit. You can find just about anybody willing to street race after dark. Like, no matter where you go, there's always going to be some idiot who thinks it's a good idea to take his shitty 4th gen Camaro and race it between the lights. In fact, it's probably rather important that you be there, because I doubt he's going to be very long for the world. And we all know how Carlisle likes to save people from dying by turning them into the undead.
Mm-hmm.
Now see, that voice crack, thank you, would make for a rather interesting plot development. Okay, maybe interesting is a bit of a mileage may vary thing there, but, like, for God's sake, find a goddamn hobby. Preferably one that doesn't violate the 4th Amendment. I'm just gonna go ahead and move on. And hope to God I don't have to do that again. I let it go for the moment and went down the hall to the kitchen. You know, she's very, very calm about the fact that she's literally being spied on.
We went over this already. She's much more than calm about this, and she really shouldn't be.
I'm just saying, I was not nearly this calm when I found out about the NSA's PRISM program. And, you know, I want to point out, the NSA were A, not spying on me specifically, and B, I don't know anybody in the NSA. They're not gonna see that. They don't know me well enough to, like, I told myself I wasn't gonna do this again. I'm not gonna do this again. I'm gonna move on now. He was there before me, needing no guide. He sat in the very chair I tried to picture him in. Well, of course. His beauty lit up the kitchen. It was a moment before I could look away. Oh my god, all of those sentences were exactly the same length. Now, okay. For those, it looks like we're going to be actually getting out of the sort of incoherent rage portions for this and getting into some actual literary critique. Because I'm not sure how many of you guys really know about this sort of theory within literature and within writing in general, but generally speaking, it's considered something of a faux pas to have multiple sentences of the same or similar length together, because they start to sound very, very choppy. Case in point, literally that entire last paragraph. What you want to do is vary the length of your sentences as you write. Like,
yeah.
You might kind of have to force yourself to do so at first, but eventually you'll kind of get into a bit of a rhythm. The point is, don't make a paragraph that's just straight up constant, just basic subject predicate sentence followed by basic subject predicate sentence followed by basic subject predicate sentence. Don't do that. You're gonna bore the hell out of anybody who's reading. It's just not a good way to go.
Yeah, he's right.
Okay, well, I'm gonna consider that my bit of community service for the week. I concentrated on getting my dinner, taking last night's lasagna from the fridge, placing a square on a plate, heating it in the microwave. And back to the critique, because I couldn't help but notice a complete lack of conjunction in that sentence. Also, I couldn't help but notice that entire sentence was kind of pointless. Just Just say you microwaved last night's lasagna. I don't need the full details of how exactly you came to microwave your lasagna. I know how microwaving lasagna works.
Yeah.
It revolved, filling the kitchen with the smell of tomatoes and oregano. Pizza, pasta, put it in a box. Deliver it to my house and put it on my cock, my cock, my cock, my cock, my cock, my cock, my cock. Cheesy on my peenie and some salsa on my balls.
God damn it.
Idiot is the single worst invention ever, and I love it. And now you've all been horribly mentally scarred. My work here is done. My work here is done, but I'm going to keep working anyway. I didn't take my eyes from the plate of food as I spoke. How often? I asked casually. He sounded as if I had pulled him from some other train of thought. I still didn't turn around. How often did you come here? I come here almost every night. I know I just did this last week, but hold on, I need to, I just need to, give me a second, I just need to, So how's everybody else doing this evening?
Okay, I guess.
Well, that's nice. Because, I just keep having my mind completely blown by the fathomless stupidity that keeps coming up on display in this fucking book!
Yeah.
Why did I agree to read this? Oh god,
I asked that question myself.
It just gets worse. It just gets worse. My world's stunned. Why? You're interesting when you sleep, he spoke matter-of-factly. You talk. That's creepy! Stop doing that shit! What the fuck? Oh! I gasped, heat flooding my face all the way to my hairline. I gripped the kitchen counter for support. I knew I talked in my sleep, of course. My mother teased me about it. I hadn't thought it was something I needed to worry about here, though. And by all accounts, it shouldn't have been!
Now you're concerned about him, like, friggin' flat out stalking you.
Oh, this is lovely. His expression shifted instantly to chagrin. Are you very angry with me? Yes! Oh my god! Of course she's fucking angry with you! You haven't been giving her a single moment of credit to herself, goddammit! If I see one more word, I'm gonna go!
I'm sorry. The noises you're making. Oh my
god! I can't do this. Oh god, I can't do this. Ugh. I have no idea how that didn't throw out my voice, by the way. That's kind of amazing. But just... what the fuck? That depends. I felt and sounded like I had the breath knocked out of me. Oh, you too. Good, I thought I was the only one. He waited. On? He urged. On what you heard, I wailed. Instantly, silently, he was at my side, taking my hands carefully in his. Don't be upset, he pleaded. Oh, it's a bit late for that! He dropped his face to the level of my eyes, holding my gaze. I was embarrassed. I tried to look away. Embarrassed? You should be fucking mortified! You should be calling your fucking dad to report a goddamn stalker!
No shit.
Could have ended this entire saga early with a mustache dad and a 12 gauge.
Yup.
God, what would I have done for that?
In fact, that would have made a fucking awesome movie.
Yes. Charlie Swan, Vampire Hunter.
Yes!
Dead or alive, you're coming with me. Does this look like the mustache of Mercy? Okay, everybody hold on for a second. I think I just got my title for this week. Oh my god, it doesn't fit.
Oh, man! No, I guess shortening it doesn't work because you have no, well, I guess context really doesn't, I don't know.
I'll just make it the face. You know what? The stash of Mercy.
Yeah, see, that's what I was thinking.
Oh my god, it still won't fit. I literally only have enough for face.
What?
Oh my god. YouTube, fix your shit. Of course, I say that, but they probably weren't expecting to.
Well, I guess you'll have to stick with face.
Yeah. Not as funny. That's a shame. Oh no, Robert feels sorry for me. And no, David, I have not checked my Facebook. I'm a little bit busy with a stream. I'm not professional, but I'm trying to be. It's just not working out very well. Especially not when I'm reading this shit. I was embarrassed. I tried to look away. I don't blame you. You miss your mother, he whispered. You worry about her. And when it rains, the sound makes you restless. You used to talk about home a lot, but it's less often now. Okay, you're trying to make her less upset by telling her all the goddamn things you've heard while stalking her! You fucking...
I got nothing. I
deflated.
What?
I deflated.
I still can't tell what you're saying.
Hold on. I was saying I deflated.
Oh. Oh my goodness.
Once you said it's too green. And I'll admit, that's actually kind of funny. That's actually... I did get a chuckle out of that. Just a shame that when you contextualize it with everything else, it's still kind of horrible.
Yeah.
Although it does remind me of a parent. It does remind me of a Tumblr post about somebody whose boyfriend talks in his sleep, and at one point he said, "No, Satan, that's my yogurt." I thought I was the only one who had that dream. I've said too much. He laughed softly, hoping, I could see, not to offend me further. Too late! Anything else? I demanded. He knew what I was getting at. You did say my name, he admitted. I sighed in defeat. A lot? How much do you mean by a lot exactly? Oh no. I hugged my head. He pulled me against his chest, softly, naturally. Don't be self-conscious, he whispered in my ear. If I could dream at all, it would be about you, and I'm not ashamed of it. That's still super creepy! Then we both heard the sound of tires on the brick driveway, saw the headlights flash through the front windows down the hall to us. Oh, thank God! I stiffened in his arms. Should your father know I'm here? He asked. I'm not sure. I tried to think it through quickly. Another time, then. And I was alone. Teleporting vampires. Yay. Edward! I hissed. I heard a ghostly chuckle, then nothing else. Okay, now did he literally just teleport? Because that sounds like teleporting to me. That's annoying.
Yeah.
My father's key turned in the door. Bella? He called. Don't ask me why, but I was suddenly overcome with I was just suddenly very violently compelled to come home and grab my 12 gauge. Just a feeling. It had bothered me before. Who else would it be? Suddenly he didn't seem so far off base. In here. I hoped he couldn't hear the hysterical edge to my voice. I grabbed my dinner from the microwave and sat at the table as he walked in. His footsteps sounded so noisy after my day with Edward. Oh, can you get me some of that? I'm bushed. He stepped on the heels of his boots to take them off, holding the back of Edward's chair for support. Edward's chair. Okay, I guess that chair now belongs to Edward because he put his butt on it. Is that how it works? If I put my butt on something, I suddenly own it? Because if that's the case, I'm going straight down to Beachmont Toyota, finding the nearest LC500H, and putting my butt on the fucking hood. Because damn it, those cars are cool. And if I gotta put my butt on one to own it, I'm gonna put my butt on it. Butts aren't illegally acceptable. Can't have nice things. I think it did. Yeah, it disconnected. That's great. Oh, wait, we got it? Okay, we're back. Cool. Don't worry, all you missed was me angrily talking about putting my butt on expensive cars. Wow, I just had to say that. What is my life even? I'm just gonna go ahead and keep reading.
Yes.
I took my food with me, scarfing it down as I got his dinner. It burned my tongue. I filled 2 glasses with milk while his lasagna was heating and gulped mine to put out the fire. As I set the glass down, I noticed the milk trembling and realized my hand was shaking. Charlie sat in the chair, and the contrast between him and its former occupant was comical. I mean, I'm still Team Mustache Dad, I'm just saying. Thanks, he said as I placed his food on the table. How was your day? I asked. The words were rushed. I was dying to escape to my room. Good. The fish were biting. How about you? Did you get everything done that you wanted to? Not really. It was too nice out to stay indoors. I took another big bite. It was a nice day, he agreed. What an understatement, I thought to myself. Ugh. Finished with the last bite of lasagna, I lifted my glass and chugged the remains of my milk. Charlie surprised me by being observant. In a hurry?
Fucking
In a hurry, space question mark. In a hurry, space question mark. And I'd highlight it, but for some reason my cursor has turned into a weird little hand. Hold on, let me just, no, that's, no, that, Adobe! This is why we can't have nice things. Just Ina hurry space question mark. Ina hurry. This was not proofread. What the fuck? Yeah, I'm tired. I'm going to bed early. You look kind of keyed up, he noted. Why, oh why did this have to be his night to pay attention? Do I? Was all I could manage in response. I quickly scrubbed my dishes clean in the sink and placed them upside down on a dish towel to dry. It's Saturday, he mused. I didn't respond. No plans tonight? No, Dad, I just want to get some sleep. None of the boys in town your type, eh? He was suspicious, but trying to play it cool. Cop Dad! Oh my god, this... I'm sorry, I kinda love Charlie. He's sort of the best. No, none of the boys have caught my eye yet. I was careful not to overemphasize the word boys in my quest to be truthful with Charlie. I just thought maybe with Mike Newton. You said he was friendly. Oh, goody! I'm not even gonna read this next bit, because I don't... I'm sorry, can y'all see that? Can y'all see that? I want to highlight it, but, like...
Yeah.
That's it! That's the book! That's it! If anybody ever... If I ever need to summarize the first book in the Twilight series, I'm just going to use that quote. Because, oh god, it sums up everything. Well, you're too good for them all anyway. Wait till you get to college to start looking. Every father's dream that his daughter will be out of the house before the hormones kick in. Meanwhile, secretly, in the back of Charlie's mind, gee, she's a lesbian, isn't she? Well, how can I judge? I mean, this is Washington. Sorry, Cake. I'm not sorry, Cake. Sounds like a good idea to me, I agreed as I headed up the stairs. Night, honey, he called after me. No doubt he would be listening carefully all evening, waiting for me to try and sneak out. See you in the morning, Dad. See you creeping into my room tonight at midnight to check on me. Oh, please. I'd worked to make my tread sound slow and tired as I walked up the stairs to my room. I shut the door loud enough for him to hear, and then sprinted on my tiptoes to the window. I threw it open and leaned out into the trees. My eyes scanned the darkness, the impenetrable shadows of the trees. Edward, I whispered, feeling completely idiotic. The quiet, laughing response came from behind me. Yes?
My god. Take it easy over there.
I can't. Have you seen what I'm reading?
Yes.
I whirled, one hand flying to my throat in surprise. He's climbing in your windows. He's snatching your people up. Oh, hush, boy. He lay, smiling hugely, across my bed, his hands behind his head, his feet dangling off the end. The picture of ease. Draw me like one of your French vampires. Oh, I breathed, sinking unsteadily to the floor. I'm sorry. pressed his lips together, trying to hide his amusement. He's not sorry. Just give me a minute to restart my heart.
Oh,
Whoa! Yeah! Kickstart my heart!
And here I was in the middle saying, at least it didn't say kickstart my heart.
The 80s were tolerable. He sat up slowly so as not to startle me again. Then he leaned forward and reached out with his long arms to pick me up, gripping the tops of my arms like I was a toddler. He sat me on the bed beside him. You know what? This actually gives me a much better idea for a title than Does This Look Like the Face of Mercy? There we go. Oh, Robert, I haven't been sane in years. Years. Ugh. Seriously, I've been making stupid YouTube videos since I was in high school. Do you honestly think I'm sane? Does this look like the face of sanity? Oh wait, you can't see my face. Shit. Didn't think that one through. Okay, so just picture a stereotypical crazy face. That me. Why don't you sit with me? He suggested, putting a cold hand on mine. How's the heart? You tell me. I'm sure you hear it better than I do. I felt his quiet laughter shake the bed. We sat there for a moment in silence, both listening to my heartbeat slow. I thought about having Edward in my room with my father in the house. Can I have a minute to be human? I asked. Certainly, he gestured with one hand that I should proceed. Stay, I said, trying to look severe. Oh, what is this, Inuyasha? You know, I thought for sure you'd have more of a reaction to that, Wendy.
I really got nothing to say to that.
I have seen basically no Inuyasha, being, well, not a heterosexual male, but one who is at the very least comfortable in his masculinity and taste in fiction. Shut up. I know what I'm reading. But if there's anything I do know about Inuyasha, it's sit boy.
Yeah.
Also, puppy! Just... Twilight is now just puppies. No real change, honestly. And he made a show... yes, ma'am. And he made a show of becoming a statue on the edge of my bed. Sounds like you'd bang your toe on that.
Oh my god, it worked.
This really isn't it. So help me, if Stephanie Meyer grew up... And before Stephanie Meyer fucking grew up watching Inuyasha. Or was an adult who watched Inuyasha.
Okay, see, I was gonna make a joke about that working on another character, but given that this is the first book, that would be inadvertent spoilers.
Oh, we all know you're talking about Jacob.
Yeah, I know.
This is not a spoiler-free reading. Nobody here gives a shit. Although, sometimes we like to pretend like we do.
Yeah.
Okay. I hopped up, grabbing my pajamas from off the floor, my bag of toiletries off the desk. I left the light off and slipped out, closing the door. I could hear the sound from the TV rising up the stairs. I banged.
Just grab him in the biscuit.
Yeah, with Edward in your room, I'm sure you did. But yeah, I banged the bathroom door loudly so Charlie wouldn't come to bother me. What the van was still coming. I meant to hurry. I brushed my teeth fiercely, trying to be thorough and speedy. Removing all traces of lasagna. The most beautiful mental image of just furious toothbrushing. I haven't been this amused by a common household task since the time I read Bouts of Enthusiastic Dishwashing in the description from one of the Pikmin games. But the hot water of the shower couldn't be rushed. It unknotted the muscles in my back, calmed my pulse. The familiar smell of my shampoo made me feel like I might be the same person I had been this morning. I tried not to think of Edward sitting in my room, waiting, because then I had to start all over with the calming process.
No shit.
Well, currently really hoping she doesn't have an electric toothbrush. And I apologize for that mental image. And if you don't get it, I'll tell you when you're older. Finally, I couldn't delay anymore. I shut off the water, toweling hastily, rushing again. Not gonna lie, I was half expecting Edward to pull a psycho there.
God damn it.
Oh, what, you weren't? I pulled on my holy t-shirt and gray sweatpants. Too late to regret not packing the Victoria's Secret silk pajamas my mother got me 2 birthdays ago, which still had the tags on them in a drawer somewhere back home. I have no words.
Neither do I.
That's mildly disturbing, but I still have no words as to exactly why. I rubbed the towel through my hair again and then yanked the brush through it quickly. Ooh. Oh, hon, that's gotta hurt. I threw the towel in the hamper, flung my brush and toothpaste into my bag. I do not need to hear your entire personal hygiene process. I'm just saying. Then I dashed down the stairs so Charlie could see that I was in my pajamas with wet hair. I did. Night, Bella. He did look startled by my appearance. Oh, gee, I wonder why. Maybe that would keep him from checking on me tonight. I took the stairs 2 at a time, trying to be quiet, and flew into my room, closing the door tightly behind me. Wow, she's so good at this discretion thing, isn't she? Edward hadn't moved a fraction of an inch, a carving of Adonis perched on my faded quilt. I smiled, and his lips twitched, the statue coming to life. His eyes appraised me, taking in the damp hair and the tattered shirt. He raised one eyebrow. Nice. I grimaced. No, it looks good on you. Thanks, I whispered. I went back to his side, sitting cross-legged beside him. I looked at the lines on the wooden floor. What was all that for? Charlie thinks I'm sneaking out. Oh. He contemplated that. Why? As if he couldn't know Charlie's mind much more clearly than I could guess. Apparently I look a little overexcited. He lifted my chin, examining my face. You look very warm, actually. Oh, gee, I wonder why she only just got out of the shower. He bent his face slowly to mine, laying his cool cheek against my skin. I held perfectly still. He breathed. That's good tresemme.
God damn it.
I'm horrible. It was very difficult while he was touching me.
Next.
To frame a coherent question. It took me a minute of scattered concentration to begin. It seems to be much easier for you now to be close to me. Does it seem that way to you? He murmured. Take a drink. His nose gliding to the corner of my jaw. I felt his hand, lighter than a moth's wing, brushing my damp hair back so that his lips could touch the hollow beneath my ear. Right, well, I see we're back to the foreplay again. Much easier, I said, trying to exhale. So I was wondering, I began, but his fingers were slowly tracing my collarbone, and I lost my train of thought. Yes? He breathed. Why is that? My voice shook, embarrassing me. Do you think? I felt the tremor of his breath on my neck as he laughed. Mind over matter. I pulled back. As I moved, he froze, and I could no longer hear the sound of his breathing. We stared cautiously at each other for a moment, and then, as his clenched jaw gradually relaxed, his expression became puzzled. Did I do something wrong? No, the opposite. You're driving me crazy, I explained.
Like no one else?
Like a virgin, etc. He considered that briefly, and when he spoke, he sounded pleased. Really? A triumphant smile slowly lit his face. Would you like a round of applause? I asked sarcastically. He grinned. I'm just pleasantly surprised, he clarified. In the last 100 years or so, his voice was teasing, I never imagined anything like this. Didn't believe I would ever find someone I wanted to be with in another way than my brothers and sisters.
Next. Next.
Accidentally got a Markiplier in there with that wave of dicks. Oops. You ever say something that you honestly thought you'd never have to say in your life? That's me. Multiple times a day, especially when streaming. And then to find, even though it's all new to me, that I'm good at it. At being with you.
Just grab them in the biscuit.
I could do this all day, Edward! You have no idea how much shit I've got on this soundboard. You're good at everything, I pointed out.
No, he's not.
Well, he's not very good at respecting boundaries, for one thing.
Exactly.
He shrugged, allowing that, and we both laughed in whispers. How can it be so easy now? I pressed. This afternoon, it's not easy. Well, it's not easy, he sighed. Take a drink. Seriously, somebody was just having way too much fun with her italics key. But this afternoon, I was still undecided. I'm sorry about that. It was unforgivable for me to behave so. Not unforgivable, I disagreed. Thank you, he smiled. You see, he continued, looking down now, I wasn't sure if I was strong enough. He picked up one of my hands and pressed it lightly to his face. And while there was still that possibility that I might be overcome, he breathed in the scent at my wrist. That's good hand!
Jesus Christ.
They just make it too easy. I was susceptible. Until I made up my mind that I was strong enough, that there was no possibility at all that I ever could. I'd never seen him struggle so hard for words. It was so human. The gasp, it's almost like every vampire starts its life as a human. Who'd have thunk? So there's no possibility now? Mind over matter, he repeated, smiling, his teeth bright even in the darkness. Ding! Wow, that was easy, I said. Wow, this is the worst Staples commercial ever. Sorry. He threw back his head and laughed, quietly as a whisper, but still exuberantly. Easy for you, he amended, touching my nose with his fingertip. Boop! I don't care if this is a terrible book. I'm always happy to see a boop. Boop, that's nude. I'm easily amused, what can I say? And then his face was abruptly serious. Oh, come on, how can you go from boop to serious face that quickly?
Good question.
I'm trying, he whispered, his voice pained. If it gets to be too much, I'm fairly sure I'll be able to leave. I scowled. I didn't like the talk of leaving. And it will be harder tomorrow, he continued. I've had the scent of you in my head all day, and I've grown amazingly desensitized. If I'm away from you for any length of time, I'll have to start over again. Not quite from scratch, though, I think. Don't go away then, I responded, unable to hide the longing in my voice. I'd tell you two to get a room, but you already have one.
Oh, God.
That suits me, he replied, his face relaxing into a gentle smile. Bring on the shackles, I'm your prisoner. But his long hands formed manacles around my wrists as he spoke. He laughed his quiet, musical laugh. Musical laugh? Musical laugh, you say? Hold on, I've got just the thing for this. Don't suppose it sounded anything like this, did it? I don't know why. I just cannot. Oh my god, I cannot listen to that all the way through with a straight face. I'm sorry. But
Oh, Robert, I'm sure liked it.
I just don't know what went right. Oh boy.
Oh.
Okay. Whew. He laughed more tonight than I'd ever heard in all the time I'd spent with him. You seem more optimistic than usual, I observed. I haven't seen you like this before. Isn't it supposed to be like this? He smiled. The glory of first love and all that? Ugh, gag me. It's incredible, isn't it, the difference between reading about something, seeing it in the pictures, and experiencing it? No, you don't say. You know, you'd think for somebody who's over a century old, he'd have had the chance to, go out and live a little.
No kidding.
Fuck me. Very different, I agreed. More forceful than I'd imagined. That's probably a bad sign, not gonna lie. For example, his words flowed swiftly now. I had to concentrate to catch it all. Oh, god damn it, not this again. John Machida, give me strength. Okay, here we go. The emotion of jealousy. I've read about it 100,000 times, seen actors portrayed in 1,000 different plays and movies. I believe I've understood that one pretty clearly, but it shocked me. He grimaced. Do you remember the day that Mike asked you to the dance? You got all that? I nodded, though I remembered that day for a different reason. The day you started talking to me again. I was surprised by the flare of resentment, almost fury, that I felt. I didn't recognize what it was at first. I was even more aggravated than usual that I couldn't know what you were thinking, why you refused him. Was it simply for your friend's sake? Was there someone else? I knew I had no right to care either way. I tried not to care. And yet... Wait... And then the lines started forming, he chuckled. That was your fault, asshole.
Yep.
I'm not gonna lie, though, that was actually one of my favorite moments in the book so far. I actually kind of enjoyed that, mostly because it involved Bella suffering. Hi, I'm a sadist. I scowled in the darkness. Oh my god, you're scowling into me home, Josh! I'm horrible. I tell y'all to go look up Darkness the Curse, but I don't want you to hate me, so I won't. I waited, unreasonably anxious to hear what you would say to them, to watch your expressions. I couldn't deny the relief I felt watching the annoyance on your face. But I couldn't be sure. Also, it was really damn funny. That was the first night I came here. I wrestled all night while watching you sleep. Hey, here comes Sparkly Vampire off the top rope! Also, is that a euphemism for something?
Do I want to know? Because I don't think I want to know.
That just makes everything all that much creepier. But very funny.
See, I can't even find that funny. I can only shake my head thinking that sounds so wrong.
Phrasing, Stephanie. Phrasing. I don't even watch Archer. I shouldn't have to reference it when I'm reading your book. Ooh. Oh, that's a knee slapper. Okay, let me try that again. I wrestled all night while watching you sleep, with the chasm between what I knew was right, moral, ethical, and what I wanted, which apparently was to jerk off in a tree.
Next.
Oh my god. Oh, you make this too easy. I knew that if I continued to ignore you as I should, or if I left for a few years till you were gone, someday you would say yes to Mike or someone like him. Puppy! It made me angry. And then, he whispered, as you were sleeping, you said my name. You spoke so clearly at first, I thought you'd woken. But you rolled over restlessly and mumbled my name once more and sighed. That feeling that coursed through me then was unnerving, staggering, and I knew I couldn't ignore you any longer. I'm sure this is romantic to somebody, but that somebody doesn't have a very good grasp of the concept of privacy.
Or romance.
Fair. He was silent for a moment, probably listening to the suddenly uneven pounding of my heart. You should probably see a doctor about that. Arrhythmia is kind of a serious condition. That there was an entire dating sim about it. Anybody else remember that? Of course, there was a 4chan idea. I don't think that really needs to be said, though.
I'm sorry. I just can't get over the fact that it took Edward fucking stalking her and watching her in her sleep to confirm to him that yes, Bella does have some sort of feelings for him. What the fuck?
These people are so dense! Where was I? Ah, right. Arrhythmia. But jealousy, it's a strange thing. So much more powerful than I would have thought. And irrational, just now, when Charlie asked you about that vile Mike Newton. Oh, now the puppy's vile! Oh. You asshole. Seriously, this guy is just... You'd think that after a century, this guy would have learned a thing or two about, you know, emotional adjustment. Like, fuck's sake. I have a legitimate mental disorder that affects emotional processing, and even I'm not this horrible. I'm just sitting here reading this and just shaking my head thinking, oh, you poor retard. Just, please, stop. You're making the rest of us look bad. He shook his head angrily. I should have known you'd be listening, I groaned. Of course. That made you feel jealous, though? Really? I'm new at this. You're resurrecting the human in me, and everything feels stronger because it's fresh. Mentos, the fresh maker.
That's your excuse. That's your fucking excuse.
His excuse is Mentos.
The fresh maker.
Yeah.
You. So his excuse is basically everything feels stronger because it's fresh. So basically, he's making it sound like basically like, oh, he's just a kid. No, you're not a kid. You're a fucking psycho. Get help.
Everything's stronger because it's fresh. What are you, an onion? I thought that was an ogre thing. Get Shrek'd. God, we really are meme trash. But honestly, I teased, for that to bother you after I have to hear that Rosalie, the incarnation of pure beauty, Rosalie, was meant for you. Emmett or no Emmett, how can I compete with that? To heck with Rosalie. I still think Alice is the cute one. Still would have made a better protagonist. Just saying. There's no competition, his teeth gleamed. He drew my trapped hands around his back, holding me to his chest. I kept as still as I could, even breathing without caution. Or even breathing with caution, rather. Breathing with wild abandon! I can honestly say I've never... I can honestly say I have no idea how that would even work. So it's good to know that's not what she actually wrote. I'm just bad at reading. Surprise! I know there's no competition, I mumbled into his cold skin. Oh, excuse me. I know there's no competition, I mumbled into his cold skin. What's the problem? Of course, Rosalie is beautiful in her way. Take a drink. But even if she wasn't like a sister to me, even if Emmett didn't belong with her, she could never have 1/10, no 1/100th of the attraction you hold for me. Wow, this guy's a real goddamn ham. He was serious now, thoughtful. For almost 90 years I've walked among my kind and yours, all the time thinking I was complete in myself, not realizing what I was seeking. You know, I actually consider that kind of mindset to be a very mature way of looking at things. You know, the whole being complete in yourself. But no, fuck that! I want to get in this girl's pants! Ah! Where was I? Oh yeah, right, that. And not finding anything because you weren't alive yet. But I still haven't found what I'm looking for. Have I mentioned I really don't like U2? Have I mentioned the local classic rock station plays way too much U2? Yeah. It hardly seems fair, I whispered, my face still resting on his chest. Oh, excuse me. It hardly seems fair. I haven't had to wait at all. I forgot it off so easily. God, it's a good thing I speak muffled. Because everybody remembers Naruto Abridged, I'm sure. You're right, he agreed with amusement. I should make this harder for you, definitely. He freed one of his hands, released my wrist, only to gather it carefully into my other hand. He stroked my wet hair softly from the top of my head to my waist. You only have to risk your life every second you spend with me. That's surely not much. You only have to turn your back on nature, on humanity. What's that worth? Very little. I don't feel deprived of anything. You fool! Just... Not yet. And his voice was abruptly full of ancient grief. Ugh. In case any of you wonder what that sounds like. Well, you shouldn't be, because you've been listening to me talk for the last what, 2 hours now?
Yeah, closing in on 2 hours.
I tried to pull back to look in his face, but his hand locked my wrists in an unbreakable hold. What? I started to ask when his body became alert. I froze, but he suddenly released my hands and disappeared. I narrowly avoided falling on my face. She's clumsy! You guys make this shit way too easy for me. Lie down, he hissed. I couldn't tell where he spoke from in the darkness. Oh, please tell me he's in her closet. I could make so many jokes about him being in her closet.
I get the feeling he is.
Oh, I really hope he is. I rolled under my quilt, balling up on my side the way I usually slept. I heard the door crack open as Charlie peeked in to make sure I was where I was supposed to be. I breathed evenly, exaggerating the movement. A long minute passed. I listened, not sure if I'd heard the door close. Then Edward's cool arm was around me, under the covers. He slips at my ear. And now they're spooning. Great. That's just what we need. Spooning and forks. God damn it. No! I was kind of hoping I'd get to do a pun like that eventually, and now that I have, it's just... No. I've been waiting all this book for this moment. And that's all it is? Hold on, I'm going into a moment of comedic existentialism. Okay, moment's passed. Moving on. Darn it, I muttered. My heart was crashing in my chest. He hummed a melody I didn't recognize. It sounded like a lullaby. Say your prayers, little one. Don't forget my son, to include everyone. Oh, come on, you're the metalhead in the room, Wendy. You should have gotten that.
No, I got the reference. Don't worry.
Ah.
Enter Sandman. I like that song.
It's a good song.
Yeah.
Not exactly a lullaby, which was kind of the joke, but, oh well. He paused. Should I sing you to sleep? Bit late to ask that after you're already singing a lullaby, dude. Right, I laughed. Like I could sleep with you here. While you're both bringing me dangerously close to nodding off. You do it all the time, he reminded me. So, at what point does he realize he committed a crime by doing this?
Does he even realize he's committing a crime?
I mean, technically right now... No, technically right now he is. He's trespassing. But, like, you get what I mean. But I didn't know you were here to take a drink, I replied icily. So, if you don't want to sleep, he suggested, ignoring my tone. My breath caught. If I don't want to sleep... If I don't want to sleep? He chuckled. What would you want to do, then? I couldn't answer at first.
Just grab them in the biscuit.
But no, they're actually gonna play chess.
Oh, God damn it.
That's not until Breaking Dawn, is it? Shit.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
Actually reminds me of my high school English teacher who, while we were going over Romeo and Juliet as as is kind of a requisite thing in freshman year English, he came up with the rather amusing euphemism of playing board games. We all knew what he meant. He knew that we knew what he meant. But it's not like you, as a tenured teacher with a master's degree in education, can just go in the middle of an English class. Oh, they fucking. It's more of a college level thing.
Okay, I'm gonna grab something to drink. I'll be right back.
All right, make it quick. I'll keep going in the meantime.
Yeah, go ahead and keep going.
Yeah. Now go. Right. Well. While she's gone, I'm gonna check in on you guys in the chat. I forget who are the main characters again. Okay. And if you're wondering about the Bane voice, my question is, do you mean this Bane voice? Or do you mean this Bane voice? Because the former is just the voice I gave to Charlie, because for whatever reason I can't think of him without thinking of Jamie Heineman. And the latter is just me being amused at somebody trying to speak through somebody else's chest. But yeah, the main character's question is a very good question, and one that I don't know the answer to, because quite frankly, the protagonists we've been saddled with are among the most boring and reprehensible beings I've ever encountered. And I've met Ann Coulter, so that should be saying something. You know, I could be pursuing an actual stand-up career. Well, no, I couldn't. I've got a bad knee. Yep, this is the pun show now. I'm gonna go back to reading. Where was? Yes, right. I couldn't answer at first. I'm not sure, I finally said. Tell me when you decide. I could feel his cool breath on my neck, feel his nose sliding along my jaw, inhaling. That's good neck meat! I thought you were desensitized. Just because I'm resisting the wine doesn't mean I can't appreciate the bouquet, he whispered. Really? 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 Oi. This guy's gonna drive me to drink. You have a very floral smell, like lavender or freesia, he noted. It's mouth-watering. It's weed. Yeah, it's an off day when I don't get somebody telling me how edible I smell. I think that sentence speaks for itself. I don't even need to say anything. He chuckled and then sighed. I've decided what I want to do, I told him. I want to hear more about you. Seriously? You're two teenagers in a bed together, and you want to talk. Boy, this really was written by a Mormon. Ask me anything. I sifted through my questions for the most vital. Why do you do it? I said. I still don't understand how you can work so hard to resist what you are. Take a drink. Please don't misunderstand, of course. I'm glad that you do. I just don't see why you would bother in the first place. Bella? Bella. Bella. Can I call you Bella? I'm going to call you Bella. Walk with me. Talk with me. See, there's this funny thing about what happens when you drain somebody entirely of all of their blood. And that's they tend to die. Now see, when you cause somebody to die, that's a little something called murder. And murder, and I'm not sure if you're aware of this, is a criminal offense! He's not doing it because he doesn't want to get in trouble with the law! Or, at the very least, understands why that's something that you get in trouble with the law with in the first place. Namely, it's just not a very nice thing to do to other people. And thus he refuses to. He doesn't do it, in essence, because he's a decent person! Or at least Stephanie Meyer would like us to think he is. Obviously, he's decided to substitute committing one crime with committing another entirely, but, well, here we are. Far be it from me to expect consistency from Stephanie Meyer. He hesitated before answering. That's a good question, and you are not the first one to ask it. The others, the majority of our kind, who are quite content with our lot, they too wonder how we live. Is this supposed to be a commentary on vegans? It sounds like a commentary on vegans. But you see, just because we've been dealt a certain hand, it doesn't mean that we can't choose to rise above, to conquer the boundaries of a destiny that none of us wanted, to try and retain whatever essential humanity we can. Ugh. God, this guy is emo. I lay unmoving, locked in awed silence. Did you fall asleep? He whispered after a few minutes. No. Is that all you were curious about? I rolled my eyes. Not quite. What else do you want to know? Why can you read minds? Why only you? And Alice, seeing the future, why does that happen? Oh, finally we're addressing this. This is gonna be stupid. I felt him shrug in the darkness. We don't really know. Carlyle has a theory. He believes that we all bring something of our strongest human traits with us into the next life, where they're intensified. Like our minds and our senses. Thinks that I must have already been very sensitive to the thoughts of those around me, and that Alice had some precognition, wherever she was. Oh my god. So what you mean to tell me... I really can't wait for Wendy to get back to hear about this. But what you mean to tell me is that Edward can read people's thoughts, and Alice can see the future, because when they were human, they already had superhuman fucking abilities. What?! Are you fucking... Is this some kind of... Are you to fuck... Haggett? If you need me, I'll be banging my head on the wall until Wendy gets back. Yeah. Fuck it, I got bored. Also, my head hurts. I mean, this got published. This got published. This right here, this shit, this got published. How the fuck did this get published? They're capable of ESP and telepathy because during their life they could...
Okay, I'm back. Sorry that took so long. I also had to take a bit of a restroom break.
You couldn't have held it. I needed you for this.
Sorry.
Do you know what I just read? Because, believe it or not, Stephanie Meyer thought it would be a good idea to try and explain why two of her vampires, and only those two, or at the very least in specific those two, have psychic abilities that nobody else seems to have. Because apparently, well, I mean, first and foremost, they don't actually know for sure. Like, apparently, like, there's no real concrete explanation for this. But, oh, Carlyle has a theory! And I'm gonna reread this because you weren't here for it. And if I've got to hurt, so does everyone else.
Okay.
So, apparently... oh, this is beautiful. He believes I've already been very sensitive to the thoughts of those around me, and that Alice had some precognition wherever she was.
Oh, so they must have been sensitive or whatever when they were human, hence why they have these strong psychic abilities as vampires. Is that what he's trying to say?
No. What he's saying is that they have these psychic powers because they had these psychic powers to begin with! But apparently on a smaller scale. So, like, apparently if I was a vampire, I'd either have the ability to control mechanical devices with my mind, or I'd also be a precog, like Alice is. Because Lord knows I keep calling this shit. I have way too many I told you so moments. And I think this book is bringing out some of the worst of them.
I hope somebody picks up that phone. What? Because I fucking called it!
Thank you, Cooler. Thank you for illustrating my life in a nutshell. I just... Literally, the only reason they can do this shit is because apparently they had some level of bullshit power as humans! The world building in this is all over the fucking place!
But see, that's a bullshit theory, because how do you explain all the other vampires' powers?
Oh, we're getting to that. We're getting to that.
Oh, lovely.
What did he bring into the next life? And the others? Carlyle brought his compassion.
That's not a power.
Okay, great. Yeah, no, it's not. Esme, but you think that's bad? Esme brought her ability to love passionately.
That's not a power!
That's being a porn star!
Just grab him in the biscuit.
Emmett brought his strength. What? Emmett brought his... You're all super strong!
Yeah, exactly. That's...
I don't care if he's Dwayne The Rock Johnson, which he very clearly is. He just...
Yeah, see, whether it's one... Like, I can see, like, a group of vampires being stronger than all other vampires, but again, like, that would just work for a bloodline, not one vampire being stronger than all the rest.
This... Rosalie, her tits, I mean tenacity. Or you could call it pig-headedness.
Again, that's not a power!
He chuckled. Jasper is very interesting. He was quite charismatic in his first life, able to influence those around him to see things his way. Oh, great, a politician. Now he's able to manipulate the emotions of those around him, calm down a room full of angry people, for example, or excite a lethargic crowd, conversely. It's a very subtle gift. Okay, that actually sort of falls in line with, you know, the sort of powers that you and Alice exhibit. But oh god, there's so much bullshit in the rest of this. Like, really? You couldn't have come up with something more, I don't know, clever? No. Everybody else gets these stupid, shitty powers like compassion and love. What kind of power is heart? And
Well, see, manipulating...
And slightly more strength than everybody else. And
well, see, manipulating the emotions of others, I could kind of see that working, provided it's executed right.
I mean, it's a power.
Yeah. Like, at least there's that.
But what the fuck is tenacity? Like, unless she's just... I'm sorry, but I'm a stubborn person. It's not a superpower. I'm just stubborn.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you couldn't come... Like, how could you have not come up with something a bit more... I don't know. Like, this is... Honestly, this is kind of similar to, like, the whole Fantastic Four backstory, you know, hit with gamma radiation while they were all kind of experiencing various different emotions and situations and whatnot, and those emotions and situations dictated basically what became of them after the gamma radiation, you know, what powers they inherited. So, like, Ben Grimm, So, like, Ben Grimm turns into, essentially, Diet Hulk because, the Thing.
Yeah.
Because, like, he was already kind of the tough guy, the muscle of the group, and was also under a lot of emotional stress at the time. So he became a guy who was super strong, super tough, literally made of stone, and had slight anger issues. Okay. Although he was from Brooklyn, so the anger issues might have just already been there. Brooklyn Rage!
No, you can't be my Brooklyn Rage.
I don't wanna be a furry. Sorry, little Karibo.
But seriously, it's like the fact that
you couldn't have come up with
Stephanie.
Like, okay, Esme's super passionate. You couldn't have given her, like, I don't know, pyrokinesis or something?
Yeah, exactly. Like, I was gonna bring up, like, the different, like, different elemental powers or whatever. Like, the fact that Stephanie Meyer, like, didn't do any sort of research, and I remember a video by, I think it was Writer from Nowhere, where he brought up, or he even brought up a quote that Stephanie Meyer allegedly said, like, and the quote was, "I don't like to do research because I'm lazy."
That don't right!
Yeah. And Stephanie Meyer allegedly actually said that. And it's like, I'm sorry, how hard is it to actually do your fucking research for your novels?
If you want to write, but you don't want to do research, then please do all of us a favor and either just write poetry, or I guess you could write for the Blaze.
Yeah, it's just like, how hard is it to do this kind of research? It's like, read the books, watch the movies. Like, how hard is it? It's like, it's not that hard to find out all the different powers that different vampires have in folklore, in different works of fiction. It does not take that much time.
Or even just, like, non-vampire powers that could be attributed to a certain personality type or skill or something.
That too.
Like, let's go back to the whole, like, yeah, sure, Esme, passion, pyrokinesis, maybe, I guess. Why not? Carlisle, compassion. Okay, compassion, also medical skills. Why not just give him straight up healing powers? It would make sense given everything about the character. He's naturally compassionate. So if that ability is, if that factor is intensified, it could very well lead to some sort of healing ability. He's a doctor already, so, I mean, it can only help his case. Like, it just makes sense. I don't know nearly enough about Emmett to comment on the whole strength thing. Like, okay, he's just extra strong compared to everybody else. He's just extra strong compared to the already super strong vampires. That's not a superpower, that's just being slightly more buff than usual. But, I mean, if your superpower is you're Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, I wouldn't complain too hard about that.
Or maybe, like, Rosalie's, like, so-called pig-headedness, or maybe, like, how stubborn she is compared to the others, or
increased endurance, invulnerability to various different types of injury, a healing factor, maybe.
Yeah, or maybe, like, how something about like how resistant to injury she is compared to the others. Here's an idea: give her earth-based powers.
I mean, that's a bit of a stretch, but then again, so is connecting passion to fire. But, like, you get what we're saying with this. you give 3 characters very obvious superpowers, basically, and everyone else just gets, oh, you're extra compassionate. Oh, you're slightly stronger than everybody else because you have muscles.
Or hell, if Emmett's that much stronger than everybody else or something, why not give Emmett Earth-based powers?
Like, it's so... Like, or better yet, give Emmett an actual personality on top of being Dwayne The Rock Johnson, and give him something based on that!
Yeah, no shit. It's like, this should not have been so hard.
I don't know. Maybe give him the ability to eat insane amounts of pancakes.
Yeah, see, there's an idea. Why not give one of these vampires the ability to actually eat food?
I mean, fuck's sake, Steven Universe did that. Why couldn't you? And not to knock Steven Universe anything. I love the show. I love Steven Universe. It's a show with an amazing amount of heart put into it, and but you get what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying. They're just like 15-minute. It's just like a 15-20 minute show. But they get so much.
I can't believe I'm doing this.
But they give their characters so much better characterization than a fucking novel.
Yeah, see, I can't believe I'm bringing this up. See, since we brought up the ability to actually eat food, maybe just the ability to just eat a specific type of food. See, I can't. I feel like I'm insulting this work just comparing Twilight to this work, and I'm so sorry. I'm sorry, Fright Night, but see, the main villain in the work Fright Night was able to eat apples.
I mean, I was literally the only reason I brought up eating an obscene amount of pancakes is, hold on, I'm gonna pull this up real quick. This picture.
Let's see here.
Oh, hi, Emmett.
There. Discord.
Oh, I didn't put it in Discord. It's on the stream. Hold on. I'll copy paste. Copy.
Oh yeah, there we go. I see it now.
Paste. Pancakes.
Oh my god.
Emmett Cullen, ladies and gentlemen.
That's a lot of pancakes.
Almost.
But yeah, see
that's almost enough.
But yeah,
pancakes.
see the reason. Yeah, but see the reason I'm bringing up the apple thing. There's because in Fright Night there was a couple of reasons the because there's a couple of reasons the vampire in Fright Night ate apples.
I'll take your word for it. But like,
one is that
you know
like
what? Fuck it, make the guy just be literally fucking greed from Full Metal not greed, gluttony from Full Metal Alchemist. Just nom 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 everything.
Yeah, because there was a couple of reasons that the vampire in Fright Night ate apples on occasion. One is that there was an idea that hey, maybe the vampire has a little bit of fruit bat blood in him, which I thought was actually kind of funny. Like, they didn't bring it up in the movie itself, but the actor who played the vampire.
I mean, it's arguably a better. It's arguably a better excuse for having fruit bat in you than the alternative. They could have just made him fabulous.
Yeah, it's like the actor playing the vampire brought that up to the director, saying why does he have an apple? It's like, you brought that up as an idea. It's like, okay, that's actually kind of funny. Let's go with that.
I love that. That's good.
Yeah. The second reason is that there's another possible idea is like, maybe he's not actually eating the apple. Maybe he's cleaning his teeth after drinking blood.
Oh, That's an idea. At any rate, I think this is getting us very far off topic. Point is, Stephanie sucks at writing superheroes. You'd think that wouldn't come up in a vampire book, but here we are.
Yeah.
Okay. I consider the impossibilities he described, trying to take it in. He waited patiently.
See, even Bella admits that it's fucking impossible.
I mean, that's when you know you done fucked up, when even your characters are calling you out on your bullshit.
Yes!
So where did it all start? I mean, Carlisle changed you, and then someone must have changed him, and so on. Well, where did you come from? Evolution? Creation? Couldn't we have evolved in the same way as other species, predator and prey? A simple I don't know would have sufficed, Edward. Or if you don't believe that all this world could have just happened on its own, which is hard for me to accept myself, oh dear God, you can tell a Mormon wrote this.
Mm-hmm.
Is it so hard to believe that the same force that created the delicate angelfish with the shark, the baby seal, and the killer whale could create both our kinds together? Oh my God. How much you want to bet? If asked, Stephanie Meyer would tell you that the Earth is 6,000 years old and that humans and dinosaurs cohabitated. Let me get this straight. I'm the baby seal, right?
Oh, it's a baby seal. It's so cute and fluffy.
Oh, God.
Sorry.
Hi, Slayer.
Oh, is Slayer signing off for the night? Oh, no, he's back, actually.
No,
I
I
didn't
said
even
hi,
realize
Slayer.
I didn't even realize he'd left. I thought he was just being strangely quiet. Probably coming up with something horrible. Right. He laughed and something touched my hair. His lips? Hair! I wanted to turn toward him to see if it was really his lips against my hair. God damn it.
Next.
They make it so easy. But I had to be good. I didn't want to make this any harder for him than it already was. God damn it!
Next.
They really... it's like they're asking for it. Are you ready to sleep? He asked, interrupting the short silence. Or do you have any more questions? Only a million or two. We have tomorrow, and the next day, and the next, and the next day, and the next day, and the next day, and the next day. And you get the joke. He reminded me. I smiled, euphoric at the thought. Oh, don't you even bring euphoria into this. I don't have nearly enough fedoras for it. Are you sure you won't vanish in the morning? I wanted this to be certain. You are mythical, after all. I won't leave you. His voice had the seal of a promise in it. Was it a baby seal?
God damn it.
Oh, it's so cute.
Stop it.
Does this look like the face of mercy?
Stop!
We have fun here. One more then, tonight. And I blushed. The darkness was no help. I'm sure he could feel the sudden warmth under my skin. Oh my God! I'm watching two spooning teenagers for I am John! Twice in one chapter. I'm gonna roll. What is it? No, forget it. I changed my mind. Bella, you can ask me anything. I didn't answer, and he groaned. I keep thinking it'll get less frustrating not hearing your thoughts, but it just gets worse and worse. I'm glad you can't read my thoughts. It's bad enough that you eavesdrop on my sleep talking. Please. This voice was so persuasive, so impossible to resist. I shook my head. If you don't tell me, I'll just assume it's something much worse than it is, he threatened darkly.
Please.
Again, that pleading voice.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Well, I began, glad that he couldn't see my face. Yes? You said that Rosalie and Emmett will get married soon. Is that marriage the same as it is for humans? That was such a dumb question that I feel compelled to answer it sarcastically. But I have no idea what I could possibly say to match that level of unfathomable stupidity. Good job. You've rendered me speechless.
Well, how many vampire weddings have you been to?
One. It was pretty normal, but I was cautioned against drinking from the punch bowl.
Don't drink the water!
He laughed in earnest now, understanding. Is that what you're getting at? I fidgeted, unable to answer. Yes, I suppose it is much the same, he said. I told you most of those human desires are there, just hidden behind more powerful desires.
Next.
Oh, was all I could say. That was important. Was there a purpose behind your curiosity? Well, I did wonder about you and me. Someday. Oh, for fuck's sake, woman, you guys literally just met, pretty much. He was instantly serious. I could tell by the sudden stillness of his body. I froze too, reacting automatically. I don't think that would be possible for us. Because it would be too hard for you if I were that close. That's certainly a problem, but that's not what I was thinking of. It's just that you're so soft, so fragile. I have to mind my actions every moment that we're together, so that I don't hurt you. I could kill you quite easily, Bella, simply by accident. Yes, we get it, you're dangerous. His voice had become just a soft murmur. Take a drink! He moved his icy palm to rest it against my cheek. If I was too hasty, if for 1 second I wasn't paying enough attention, I could reach out, meaning to touch your face and crush your skull by mistake. Vampires OP, please nerf.
Yes.
You don't realize how incredibly breakable you are?
Wow.
Seriously? Seriously?
Wow.
Seriously. I can never afford to lose any kind of control when I'm with you. He waited for me to respond, growing anxious when I didn't.
That sounds so wrong out of context.
Doesn't it just?
In fact, that doesn't even sound right in context.
It really doesn't. Are you scared? He asked. Yes! Terrified! Because now I'm pretty much convinced that at no point will you ever say anything not horrible.
Good God.
I waited for a minute to answer so the words would be true. No, I'm fine. Because we all know what she means when she says she's fine, right, fellas?
Good Lord.
Well, if you haven't managed to shack up with a sociopath, usually it means she's fine. Seriously, those what she means when she says I'm fine memes, stupid shit. Stupid shit. Most of it intentionally stupid, but the source material, like, just really. They're people. They act like people. Assume that they're going to act like people. Fuck off. Anyway. He seemed to deliberate for a moment. I'm curious now, though, he said, his voice light again. Have you ever...
Next. 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 Next.
Each trail dog suggested.
Oh no, there we go. My soundboard kind of had a bit of a conniption fit there.
Oh.
At the best. Just an avalanche of dicks. Oh, for fuck's sake. I hate it when I say things. Whew. Sigma.exe has crashed. Yes, I have. Repeatedly now. Oh my god, this is ridiculous. Now, where was I? Right. Of course not, I flushed. I told you I've never felt like this about anyone before, not even close. I know, it's just that I know other people's thoughts. I know love and lust don't always keep the same company.
You don't say.
Motherfucker, she is a nerdy shut-in. What do you expect? Well, they do for me. Now, anyway, that they exist for me at all, I sighed. Mormons. That's nice. We have that one thing in common, at least. He sounded satisfied. Your human instincts, I began. He waited. Well, do you find me attractive in that way at all?
Next.
I love it when they try and have talks like this.
Do you really want to ask that question?
He laughed and lightly rumpled my nearly dry hair. I may not be a human, but I am a man!
Punch!
He assured me. Sorry, Linkara. I yawned involuntarily. I've answered your questions. Now you should sleep, he insisted. I'm not sure if I can. Oh, God, please do, though. Do you want me to leave? No, I said too loudly.
No!
Bella, you okay in there?
No!
He laughed and then began to hum that same unfamiliar lullaby. Exit light, enter night.
Take my hand, rock to never, never land.
I'd much rather be reading Peter Pan right now. The voice of an archangel soft in my ear. Bleh. More tired than I realized, exhausted from the long day of mental and emotional stress like I'd never felt before, I drifted to sleep in his cold arms. And then we get an entire page of blank before chapter 15. Oh, the formatting in this is just lovely, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right, well, that was the thing that happened. A horrible, horrible thing that happened.
Yes.
Well, I think I can safely say that I've learned absolutely nothing. Just... I can't decide if this was the best chapter yet or the worst. And when I say best, I mean, like... When I say best, I should clarify, I do mean best worst. Basically most amusing. Because it's a tie right now between this and the car sex chapter. Which, for those of you who are only just joining us this stream, it was not a chapter in which there was any actual sex being had in a car. But there was the phrase, the van was still coming.
Next.
So, you know, us being completely immature, we had quite a bit of fun with that.
I would honestly call this chapter the worst.
I don't know, because we've had several chapters now where literally nothing happened. And while not a whole lot happened here, it was a funny nothing. So I'll take a funny nothing over just straight up boring nothing any day. Because, like, for a while we had, like, 3 straight chapters of just nothing at all.
Well,
Nothing
in terms of...
Nothing at all.
Well, going by what we... I'm going by what we found out.
Okay, that's a good point. Because the shit we found out was some of the stupidest shit I've ever heard.
Mm-hmm.
Which, in fairness, was also kind of hilarious, but at the same time, like, Jesus, fuck some of this shit.
Yeah.
Like, just, I like watching you when you sleep. Run! Run, you dozy git, run! See, this is why for more than a decade now, this book has been considered something of a litmus test for toxic relationships. This is exactly why. I just want to stress that much at the very least. Really, outside of a purely fictional setting is no laughing matter, and really, even inside a fictional setting, especially when it's being treated as romantic, it's just... No. You can't go normalizing this shit. You can't go trying to act like it's sweet. because it really isn't. It's dangerous, and it's wrong, and just above everything else, it just doesn't really bode well for any relationship that could come out of it. Like, I've had friends who've had to deal with stalkers before, and it hasn't always ended well. Fortunately, to my knowledge, none of them have been, to my knowledge, none of them have ever been, like, killed over it, but, like, it's gotten, like, really weird and really, really terrifying. So, can we maybe not try and treat it like it's some sort of romantic endeavor?
No shit.
Because it's not. And unfortunately, like, between this, and between the clearly abusive relationship that you see in 50 Shades of Grey, and it's just, I feel like this is just kind of becoming a thing now that people are just trying to, not even really trying consciously, but in a way, still making an unconscious effort to normalize, and that's just kind of terrifying to me.
Yeah.
And I really hate having to talk about a subject this heavy on a stream that's 95% dick jokes by volume. But here we are. So, if you're gonna take any serious message away from this tonight, it's gonna be that. Just keep an eye out for this kind of thing, and if you see it, please, do not hesitate to call bullshit on it. Because this is some old bullshit. Alright, well, I think that's about enough out of me for tonight. Got anything else you want to say, Wendy, or should I just go ahead and call it here?
Well, you said it was some old bullshit. Like, I think it's beyond some old bullshit, because the fact that you specifically referred to it as some old bullshit reminded me of a Double Toasted's review of the 50 Shades of Grey movie. Because Corey C gave the film a fuck you rating because...
Rightly so.
Yeah, because it not only is it a bad film, because not only did he see it as a bad film, but he's seen it as a film that's basically bringing down film in general. And that's how I'm seeing books like Twilight and 50 Shades of Grey in general.
Galloping abs. We must forget that, although I don't really know how the romance angles in that particular book are really set up. Still waiting on Cake to do more readings of it, honestly.
Yeah. Because I really think books like the Twilight series and 50 Shades of Grey series are just bringing down literature with them.
I mean, as popular as they've been and as poorly as they're written, they can only have a negative influence.
Yeah.
And that's worrying.
Yes.
Like, by all accounts, this could very well mean it can only get worse from here. I don't know how it could get worse, but I have the sinking feeling that we're gonna find out eventually.
Yeah, because reading this book, I remember watching the update videos that Crimson Rogue put up for
now that you mentioned I remember those update videos, and I really should have taken the level of torment that he showed in those videos a little bit more seriously when I was considering doing this reading.
Yeah, because he put up several update videos letting people know, like, the progress that he was going, like, his levels of progress during his time making his book was better review of the Twilight film.
He tried to
warn
us. He tried to warn me, but I was too stupid to listen.
Yeah, because he read the book before watching I think he read the book before watching the Twilight film, and I think I now understand why he got so pissed at the Twilight book.
Well, he certainly had no reason not to.
Yeah, because we're like just over halfway into the book, but I think we can safely say this book is a piece of shit.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Well, I think that's going to be our show for tonight. If you liked what you saw, God help you, then by all means check out our social media links below. Yeah, they'll be down in the doobly-doo waiting for you, and it'll help you keep abreast of all the weird shit that we do when we're not streaming. Well, that'll be all then. Thank you guys so much for watching. End of line.